We are live and on the air. Welcome to Omnibroslive. I am OmniDog, joined as always with the Omnibus Collector himself, Riley. Riley, how's it going?
Doing well, coming at you from my backyard. I'm watching the dogs out here. It's a 95-degree day in Texas, so as per usual. Actually, I think it was above 100 earlier.
Oh, and did you hate it?
I hated it.
Because this is the hate episode where we hate on others' opinions that we hate. And yes, I'm aware of the irony of trying to create positivity out of a double negative. But before we get started on hatred, we'll talk about something we love, and that is InStockTrades.com. InStockTrades.com, where you can get up to 50% off your collected editions. Add 2 to 3% loyalty discounts. They have sales. Every quarter gets you an Omnibroslive discount. Order $50 or more in the United States, and you can get free shipping. Fabulous customer service, as evidenced by our interview with Emily on Monday, and fabulous packaging. That's InStockTrades.com. Okay, let's get to the hate.
I really liked that interview with Emily. I watched while I was driving around to and from work the other day, and I liked her subtle hatred for the emails she gets. Just tie it into this episode, and I like that she brought up my email to her apologizing for the Valiant hype train.
That was funny.
Yeah, because I knew I was sure that I had sent that email to her, but I wasn't 100%. Like, part of me was like, am I just making this up? Because that seems like something I would want to do, but then like not send it or something. And then she mentioned it, and I was like, I did send that. It's basically just like, hey, I think a lot of people are going to start buying Valiant books. I'm really sorry, because you're probably going to get a lot of emails about them.
I'm getting a message that my camera is whack. I see myself fine. How do you see me? Do I look all right?
You look blurry, but
oh, really?
Yeah, you're blurry, but it's not
I wonder if
there's not a lag or anything, and the sound is working fine.
Oh gosh, I mean, I wish I could sign out, but that would take the whole chat down, I think.
Yeah, I don't know if you can really do anything. We might just have a blurry episode.
Well, I hate blurry episodes.
I do too.
Let's see what I look like on... Oh, yeah. Oh, it's just a little blurry. I don't know what's going on. Because I look fine to me. Oh, boy. I'm not looking good on camera. Sorry, guys. That's a YouTube thing, because I'm looking normal in the camera to me, but my wife, let me check and see what my Wi-Fi is. No, my Wi-Fi is strong. The force is strong on my Wi-Fi.
The actual YouTube video doesn't look terrible. I guess it's a little smaller than what I can see, but it is a little blurry.
I wonder if I close some windows, if that would speed things up.
Yeah, stop ordering stuff on Amazon.
Let me close this. I'll close some things and see if that helps. Photos. I'll turn off that. I got nothing going on there. I can't turn off Chrome because that's what I'm on. No, it doesn't seem to have helped. Huh.
Well, let's just start hating on stuff.
You can hear me okay, though?
Yeah, I can hear you absolutely fine. There's no lag or choppiness to the actual sound, which I think is the most important part.
Yeah, I'd restart it, chat, but I can't because I'm the host, and that would black everything out. Just try and listen to the soothing sounds of OmniDog's voice, and don't pay attention to the man on the camera.
So, what I'm actually 100% surprised that this is actually the video we're doing today. When we were talking earlier, sometimes we'll have the topic ahead of time, and sometimes it's just a last minute, like, the fuck are we doing today, guys? And today was one of those days, and I thought we were joking, and one of us said, like, let's talk about stuff that we hate. And so here we are.
I jumped on it. I think that's a great topic.
It's certainly going to be a fun topic and a funny topic, and I'm definitely going to... I hope we ruffle some feathers, rather.
Yeah.
But
Tushy tussle, rump rustle, butthurt. Let's go for it.
Yeah. Yeah. Those are all the good ones. So where do we start? Like, what you were in a bad mood earlier today, Jess.
Before I went to see my therapist, I was in a bad mood. I was not in a good spot. Saw my therapist, came out, and I've been in a better mood all day. Then I got into a chat with you guys about something we mutually hate, and that got me back in a bad mood. So I'm on the fence about being on a bad mood, good mood. I'm actually doing this show always puts me in a good mood, so but I can still generate some hate for things. But yeah, I was in a bad mood earlier. Maybe that's why I said let's hate on things.
Now, I think the most popular thing is, and someone already brought it up in the chat, was Jess liking to hate on Nightfall. And you said you just didn't like it. So you don't quantify that as a hatred. It's just a dislike.
It's just not something it's just not a book that I cared for. I don't hate it. I think it's great that people love it and want it. I think it's great that DC's putting out so much of it. I don't know if it's complete yet. It's just not an event or a comic books series of Batmans that I cared for. I don't hate it though. I'll tell you something I do hate.
Getting tagged?
What's that?
Getting tagged in posts?
I don't like getting tagged in Nightfall posts, but I hate Batman Cacophony and the Widening Gyre. But this is more about people's opinions on things that we were going to hate. But those are two books that I hate. I hate those books. I thought they sucked. I thought there was poor writing with poor art, poor concept, poor plot, poor story. I poured root beer on it because I hated them so much. Those are books I hate. I do not hate Nightfall like that.
Do you hate if someone's opinion is that those books are actually good?
No, I don't. I don't hate that. I encourage that. If you like, what? Batman Cacophony and Widening Gyre?
Yeah.
Oh, those people are stupid. Yeah, I hate those opinions. If there's anybody out there with the opinion that Kevin Smith's Batman is any good, that's a dumb opinion because I'm going to go full gatekeeper here and say I've been reading Batman for 50 years, and I enjoyed Batman with Cesar Romero as Joker more than I enjoyed with a painted over mustache than I enjoyed Kevin Smith's Batman. I mean, Kevin Smith is capable of much better, and this was just sloppy, lazy writing that I didn't care for. So if you have the opinion that those books are good, I hate that opinion.
Didn't Batman pee himself?
Yeah. And then somebody said, well, firefighters pee themselves when they go into firefighting. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm not reading Firefighter. I'm reading Batman. That was the least of my hatred. My main hatred of those books was his, now I can't even remember the name of the hero or the bad guy. I pushed it out of my head. But he lets somebody else into the Batcave and fights alongside him when this is Batman. He doesn't do that at all. That is so out of character to buddy up with some unknown crime fighter and just say, hey, yeah, come into the Batcave. and we'll fight crime together. And then, of course, it ends up being the serial killer that he's been tracking, and now he's let the serial killer into the Batcave and knows his secrets. And that was about 8 years ago, and there hasn't been any follow-up, which I wouldn't read anyway. And I'm trying to think of what it is. Jess looks like a shitty animation. It's so fantastic when coupled with his rage. So, yeah, it was just so out of character. It's like the same reason I hate Identity Crisis, because that was so out of character for. I mean, that was just wildly out of character for those characters to be portrayed that way. So, I mean, do different things with Batman. Take him to different places. Okay, let him pee himself. But, I mean, stay in character.
So what else then? Segue from a book that you hate, because I know you said that's not the topic. It's not like books that we hate, but what?
Well, yeah, right. It's people's opinions on things.
So I think a primary one that we get a lot of, in our chats. Sorry, my dog was chewing a towel, which I don't even know why it's out here. Is the inherent hate that a lot of people have before even reading something.
Totally.
Like, it's a common thing that happens is just seeing a picture or a blurb or a description or whatever of an upcoming book that's not out for months, and immediately there's just this train of hatred that starts happening for this book. And it's funny because by the time the book usually comes out, that hate has dissipated. And I don't know if you've noticed that, but it's like these people kind of forget that they were hating on it, and then it winds up oftentimes being something that people like in the end. I know, like, and this isn't a comic, but an example that I would have is whenever they were casting for Deadpool 2, and they cast Domino, and people were just enraged about the casting of, a colored woman as Domino, and like there was comments.
A colored woman,
right?
You mean a black woman?
A person of color.
From the 50s in Texas?
I am in Texas. A person of color, a female of color, a POC.
I totally had to call you on that. Yeah, I agree with you on that. Zazie Beetz, first of all, she's got the greatest name ever, Zazie Beetz. But
right.
You're right. There was total hatred for that before anything came out, and now there's universal love for that movie.
And that character in particular, I didn't see anyone say anything negative about her character once the movie came out. But when it was coming out, when they were releasing images, they were like, oh, her hair looks dumb was a big comment. And it was like, really? So you're like basically going to be commenting on the fact that she has a fro? Like, I don't know, that was a really dumb comment to make, I thought. And hatred on like they kind of, I guess, did the opposite with Domino's skin is typically white with the black spot, like stark white, like white. And then they changed it to where it's, she's got a lighter spot over her eye. And it was, just so many people enraged. And I know there's probably a particular YouTube channel that probably made a video about it. I wouldn't know because I don't watch that fucking guy's videos. But I'm pretty sure that this person made a video complaining about it. And after everything was said and done, after the movie came out, no one batted an eye. And that was, out of all the characters in the movie, I think I did see the most praise for her portrayal of Domino.
Yeah. It was fun. She was fun and funny and kicked ass, and she was a fun part of X-Force. I agree.
So that's kind of something that an opinion I hate is those preformed, negligent, uninformed opinions on things. usually based on personal bias rather than based on any sort of fact at all. And we're seeing it constantly as things like new series are solicited. You know, every time you'll see Marvel, for instance, announce a series with a new character at the helm, you know, as the leader, the lead character, especially if it's some sort of legacy thing where a new character is taking over the place of someone else. It's always initially met with just tons of vitriol. And it's just super annoying because, like I said, these people, it's an uninformed opinion about this thing that doesn't exist yet, that you haven't given a chance to. You haven't even experienced it outside of a small blurb, a piece of artwork, and knowing who's writing.
Yeah, like, excuse me, like on the Omnibus Collectors Comic Swap and Community Facebook page today, there was something about Vertigo being relaunched.
Yep.
And they had several interesting sounding books that sounded like, oh dear, they were going to be inclusive. They were going to include some people and or things that are not in the majority of the US and or the world, and we're going to give a voice to some minority characters and writers, and give some people a chance to create a world that's starting to look more and more like our real world. And people were already judging just the idea of these comics without having read them, without having looked at them, without having given them, you know, 3 or 4 issues to see what the point was, or even 1 issue. People were just upset with the idea that there was going to be inclusiveness. I hate that opinion.
What I hate about that opinion is that, like, it's fine if it does come out and it winds up being bad. Like, sure, you can say, okay, this is a bad book.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, it sucked. And you've read it, and that's fine. But, like, one of the things I hate about that opinion and those preformed opinions like that is I just lost my train of thought, actually, completely. Sorry, my dog was doing this weird thing. She'll crawl under my deck, and she's so big I don't understand how she actually fits under there. So I was kind of looking off in amazement that she fit. And then she comes out, and it kind of reminds me of The Exorcist, where the chick's running down the stairs backwards on her hands. And,
oh, yeah. Ooh,
yeah.
That was a creepy scene.
She does this thing that's kind of like that. And now she's mad at my other dog because I guess Chewie's chewing on something. Anyway, it's like, it's fine if it comes out and when it does and you read it and you're like, actually, this kind of sucked. But what I hate about it is that it's like people don't want to be hopeful and they don't want to have a positive outlook. It's this idea of like, everything's going to suck. You don't even know anything, but it's this idea, this negative, going into everything with negativity instead of being, I like to say I'm cautiously optimistic about stuff. It's a phrase that I've used a lot. So on things like, for instance, the Venom movie that's coming out, I'm not sure that it's going to be great, but I'm also not going to sit here, like, there's things I don't like about it, but not going to sit here and say, like, I hate it, like, it's bullshit, I'm going to boycott Tom Hardy playing Venom. I'm cautiously optimistic. I want to see this movie, and I want it to be good. And it's the same way that I am about upcoming comics. You know, I want to check these books out, and I want them to be good. But I'm not going into these things looking at something saying, wow, that looks like absolute trash. Because I don't know yet. Like, it can look like it might be trash, but I'm not going to know that until I read it. And I've had those opinions in the past where I've allowed myself to form something ahead of time, ahead of even checking it out. And then someone's been like, actually, it's pretty good. And I wind up surprisingly enjoying something that I didn't think I was going to enjoy. For instance, I thought that Flintstones was going to be a shitty comic. And looking at all of the different comics that came out of the Hanna-Barbera books from, 2 years ago or so with the initial launch, Flintstones was the one that I was looking forward to the least. I thought Mark Russell's Prez comic was okay, but it got cut off early, so I didn't get to form a real opinion about it. And I just didn't see what they could do with a Flintstones comic. Whereas the other ones, you know, Wacky Raceland was this, you know, crazy Mad Max version of Wacky Racers. That was a really cool idea to me. Scooby Apocalypse, you know, I'm a fan of the Scooby cartoons, you know, since I was a child, much like most people are. So I was like, cool, that's going to be neat. And then Future Quest, the other one that was solicited at first, was literally something that I like wanted to happen. Not too long before they solicited it, I was like, this would be so cool if there was a book or a show that combined all of those Hanna-Barbera heroes. And they literally put my dream book out there with a dream team. So all these other books were like, they look good to me. Flintstones, I was like, I don't know what they're going to do with that. I don't know how this is going to be good. And then it came out, and it turned out that that was by and far the best of all of them. So I was very pleasantly surprised. But I didn't go into it thinking like, this is shit. I hate it. Like, this is bullshit. How are you going to go and desecrate the Simpsons or the Flintstones like this? I went into it kind of more open-minded than that, even though I didn't have the highest expectations, I guess.
Yeah, I'll say something else that I hate, an opinion that I hate. I hate the opinion that people have that Heath Ledger's Joker, I said this last night on the Joker episode that I did with Louise, but I hate people's opinion that didn't like Heath Ledger as Joker, saying he was out of character. I think that Joker was the Joker to be used as a reference point for all other Jokers ever. He had an origin story that was constantly changing in his head that he was telling people. He had the cut mouth. He was insane and insanely smart and super well organized in his sadism. I loved the scene. I said it last night. I love the scene when Batman came in and slammed his head down on the desk. That's still my favorite scene in the movie because it shows Batman at least kicking some ass. But that Heath Ledger portrayal was absolute perfection of what the Joker should be like. Evil genius, loves to kill for the sake of killing, really not interested in money for money's sake, but the power that money and causing mayhem has. He was all about the sadistic love of terrorism. Really, he was a terrorist when you think about it. And I think Heath Ledger portrayed him perfectly. So people whose opinion that he was not a good Joker, I hate that opinion.
I hate the opinion that Suicide Squad is in any way a good movie. In any way, not the worst trash movie that's ever happened, and that Jared Leto's Joker is in any way redeemable. I hate the fact that there is a Joker movie coming out, and that kind of goes against what I just said about preformed opinions and stuff. And hold on one second, my dog got my sandal.
Oh, hey, Redcoat Turncoat is in the chat. Hey, Redcoat, how's it going? Let's see. I since Riley's gone, and it turns out my pictures actually has turned better. Yeah, I look much better. Thank you. I will say the best part about Suicide Squad. Oh shoot, Riley's back. The best part about Suicide Squad was the soundtrack. I collected the soundtrack, both soundtracks. There was the cinematic score and then the songs, and the soundtracks are really good.
There are good songs used, like, you know, there's the, what is it, the Bee Gees song that's in there, and that's the only one I can think of right now, actually. I'm not wrong, right? It's a Bee Gees song, the I Started a Joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I love the
Bee Gees.
So there are good songs in there, but I felt like they definitely, and this is a thing that everyone has said before, but they're trying to emulate the use of music throughout the film like Guardians did, and it didn't work as well.
Mm-hmm.
The scenes in the movie did not flow. It was very vignetted. Like every scene was, it happened and then you cut to something else. And then another scene happened and you cut to something else. And it was just this hectic haberdashery of things that shouldn't have gone together. And then after all of these things that shouldn't have gone together were forcefully melded together and you got the team, you were then forced to have this extremely subpar recycled plot line and a really shitty villain in the end of the movie. And it was just a giant waste of time. And I watched it while like doing dishes, and I still felt like I wasted my time.
I have a good question. That movie was historically bad, yet it still did really well at the box office. What was the attraction? I think it did better than Justice League and Man of Steel.
I don't know what the numbers are, but I don't know. Margot Robbie?
Well, that's why I went to see it. But yeah, that movie actually did fairly decent box office, considering, you know, how poorly it did. I mean, did everybody go to see Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn? That's why I went, so it's certainly possible. But I didn't hate her Harley Quinn as much as I hated Jared Leto's Joker. But yeah, no, your analysis of that movie is spot on.
Justice League movie. Oh, Jesus, yeah. Grossed. It was a domestic gross of... Wait, what? Domestic gross of $96 million for Justice League. But Suicide Squad was a domestic gross of like 700-something million, according to a quick Google search. I had no idea that was true. I still haven't seen Justice League. I'm cautiously optimistic whenever I do get to see it at some point. But I very much didn't like Suicide Squad, and I very, very much did not like Batman versus Superman. So I'm not expecting to enjoy it. But wow, those numbers are not very good.
Yeah, that's not good at all.
Yeah, I saw, I don't know if you're in the there's like big action figure group on Facebook, the Action Figure Junkies. I don't know if you're in that group, but I was on there earlier and someone had posted like how excited they were about the Joker movie coming out, and they posted their like Jared Leto Joker figures, and they were like, Jared Leto did a great job. And I was like, if his job was being the worst Joker ever on film, then sure. But I don't think that's what they hired him for.
Yeah, and now you couple it with the fact that he's apparently a huge jerk and like world-class jerk, and I just don't want to see him anymore. And I'd rather see Cesar Romero as Joker, even if Cesar Romero's dead right now. I'd rather see him as Joker than that Jared Leto Joker. That was just not cool. Not a cool. Nothing was good about it. What else? Who else's opinion? Okay, the big elephant in the room is people's opinions. Let me see how I can word this, because I'm going to do a video on it, and I don't want to shoot my wad, so to speak, here. But I'm not into this opinion on the internet about all my favorite comics that I love from, and they're mostly from Marvel. Things like Ms. Marvel, All New Wolverine, Ironheart, Kate Bishop, Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. I hate this idea that women and minorities in comics are somehow bad, when all it is a character refresh. You can't have Wolverine, the same character, for 40 years and not do something to make him more interesting. So they killed him off. They got Laura X23 to take his place, and she's done a great job with a great writer. Gabby is her little clone who is funny as heck. That book is a joy to read. And also Gwenpool. That is an interesting fourth wall breaking. I mean, it's almost got a fifth wall it's trying to break. She's constantly trying to climb out of her own comic book, and it's brilliant writing. And because it's different, there's an element out there on the internet that hates it. And I say to those people, I disagree with your opinion. I hate your opinion, because you need a character refresh every 5 to 7 years to make things interesting. You have to change up the character. And I'm not going to say Marvel mishandled it. I never read America Chavez, so I don't know anything about that comic book. But I certainly read all those books that were covered in the Generations hardcover, and I thought that hardcover was a great book with the old hero meeting the new hero in order to set it off again freshly. But I'm I hate that hate is such an attractive option for people to get viewers. I think it's hatred for hatred's sake. I don't think there's any intelligent analysis that goes into the examination of these books, because you have actually read them and tried to have fun with them. You would actually enjoy them. And I think it's lazy and easy to hate on books instead of actually reading them and trying to enjoy them. I hate that attitude.
And that goes back to a certain YouTuber I candidly mentioned earlier.
I don't know. I haven't watched that particular YouTuber. I don't care about that particular YouTuber, but I know that mentality is rampant, that Marvel did something bad by trying to freshen up its lineup using women and minorities, and like, that's such a bad thing. It would be a bad thing if the writing sucked, but the writing was great in a lot of these books and made the characters new and exciting, and that's why I liked them. They were new and exciting and fun to read, and we're in this hobby to have fun. Fun. I look out my window and that's the real world. That's not the place I want to be. I want to be in my house reading comic books, having fun. If I want to be out in the real world, I'll go out there. And that's where I deal with all the hatred and dickwads. That, fine. But when I get here, I want to have fun and enjoy comic books, and just, that's the part of it, the escapist in me that enjoys the comic books.
Yeah, there's I'll say, because I've mentioned before, I read and have been reading every ongoing Marvel book since basically Marvel Now, and there are some missteps, but in general, the direction that these books have been going has been positive. And like you said, the writing is good, the books are fun. It's just this idea of, you know, change is a bad thing, and anything new is inherently bad. And the majority of these opinions that, you know, we're not so fond of are, like I was talking about earlier, they're formed before the fact. You know, they're formed before anyone's even read these books, before these books have come out. And then when the books have come out, a lot of these people are going to go into it. Number one, most people are not going to read something that they already think that they've told themselves they're going to hate. And then when they do, they're already going to go into it with that negative opinion. So they're not likely to enjoy it because they've told themselves they can't. And that's a large part of the issue there. And it's really annoying, because then you sit there, I sit there, basically just constantly saying, you know, praises for these books that I actually love because other people haven't read them. And I'm like, you know, well, give these things a shot. You know, there's a lot of people who I would never expect to enjoy a book like Gwenpool who have come out the other side saying, oh, wow, this is a great book.
Yeah, and Nathan Burkholz just sent me the funniest drawing on my phone. I want to make sure the chat understands we are not naming names of this particular YouTuber, but it's not Gem Mint. I don't know where you got the idea that it was Gem Mint, chat, because we're not talking about Gem Mint at all. As far as I know, Gem Mint is as positive about comics as we are. I don't think he's a hater at all about anything. So we are definitely not talking about Gem Mint. He's a completely different subject. I think he's all about enjoying comics as much as he can. So that's not who we're talking about. So
no, it's someone who got a little butthurt when their book didn't get published.
Right.
And then other people got butthurt for him. But the guy's a pile of dicks, so.
Eloquent.
Yeah. And the artist on the book is basically a copy of Rob Liefeld, who did some Marvel stuff, worked on Thunderbolts, and yeah, the book looked awful. I looked at some of the stuff, and I'll go against what I said earlier and form a negative opinion before even seeing it. But I read some panels of like his old version of it, and it was just like, it's like you take those the 90s extreme comics from Image, but like there's so many books now like from Image right now that are revisiting those titles, like Youngblood. A few years ago was The Prophet and Glory. Supreme got one, and they revisit those books and kind of revamp the characters for the modern age. So instead of the 90s extreme stuff, it's, you know, more modern sensibilities. His doesn't do that. It leans further into the 90s extreme stuff, but not in a tongue-in-cheek jokey way, in like a this is how comics should be way. So yeah, it's not good.
Sorry, Redcoat Turncoat. I didn't mean to say your name on the air, but I have said it all on the air before. We're just you're not a person we hate. We're not naming the people we hate because we don't want to give them any more publicity. Yeah, that was well said, what you just said. That was perfectly said. Perfectly said. Let's see. What else? Who else's opinion do I hate? I'm sorry, but I hate Neil Adams' opinion that re-inking and recoloring his work was a good idea.
I hate his opinion that the Earth is hollow.
That is unusual. I purposely titled my video, that's actually my most popular video, Why I Dislike Neil Adams' Batman, because I hate the word hate. But since this is the hate episode, I'm going to say I hate that he took a perfectly good, groundbreaking run on Batman that totally shattered expectations and blew away the comic book world and just messed it up. He re-inked it so that it doesn't even look right, and he recolored it so it looks like a modern comic instead of the previous much better original artwork. So I hate that, and I'm sorry that I hate the hate, but hate plus hate equals, I don't know, more hate in this case. I'm sorry that I hate that book because I was looking forward to that book more than anything.
It's not like a two negatives make a positive type thing.
In this case, yeah. Yeah, no, nothing can absolve me of my hate for that. I know, I'm sorry.
I hate the opinion that Animal Man is not consistently one of the top 5 books of everyone's lists.
Elaborate on that.
I hate it.
That's not elaboration.
It personally offends me. Yeah, my wife even liked Animal Man. You've read like probably a handful of series. I know she read Animal Man and Preacher in their entireties. She read Y the Last Man. I forgot you read that. I know you read part of Chew. She read a good chunk of Walking Dead.
I read like past 100 issues.
So yeah, she's read a decent number of comics, and she really liked Animal Man too. Now I'm gonna sneeze.
Okay.
Excuse me. Don't shoot me. But yeah, so I mean, I'm halfway joking on that. Like, it makes me sad when people are like, Animal Man's not good. It makes me upset.
Morrison's Animal Man, right?
Right, yeah. And
Yeah.
I also love all the Animal Mans, but Morrison's and then Lemire's would be number 2 in my list. But I don't want to say it personally offends me when people don't like his run, but in my opinion, it's always going to be one of those top 5 series and comics out there, and I've talked about it so many times. I don't know if I have anything else to say about his Animal Man. There's mosquitoes all around me. Sorry, but yeah, what I do hate is the and this is something that people do in the group, is those like threads where they ask, you know, something that people like that you don't like, and it's because it starts a shitstorm. Basically, it's asking for people to get upset with each other. So I don't like those. We had a couple of them in the past couple days. And it's not because I don't value that people have their own opinions. It's that people can't deal with those opinions, and it winds up. And sometimes I can't either. Like, if someone starts talking shit about a series that I really love, I'm like, "Are you serious?" But I try to keep my mouth shut, and usually don't even monitor those threads, because I'm like, I don't want any part of this stuff. Like, I'm here for positive vibes, not to start looking at why people hate all the stuff that I love.
Yeah, I typically don't go into those threads either. Let's see. Who else's opinion do I hate?
I like the way you put that.
I'll tell you what I don't hate. I don't hate people that don't think Irredeemable is the best comic ever. I don't hate those people because they have their opinions and I have mine. I understand that. But I think Irredeemable is pretty widely respected and loved, so I don't have the same passion of hate that you do for Animal Man. Because anybody that doesn't enjoy Irredeemable is just not paying attention and not getting it. So let's see. As I look around my room, here's what I hate. Well, no, that's not an opinion. That's a thing.
Go ahead. I'm sure it's entertaining.
I hate Skybound Studios products. Not their books. They're action figures.
Oh, okay.
They are, I mean, Skybound Studios is got oodles of money, as far as I know, retail outlet. Am I correct?
Well, Skybound is its images. Well, it's Robert Kirkman's imprint on Image.
Right. Okay. Skybound Studios puts out the cheapest, jankiest action figures, and it's mostly their action figures I hate. They are supremely cheapo, and they shouldn't charge any money for them because they're not worth a nickel.
Did they put out the Saga figures?
Yes, and that's what I'm referring to.
So those were not
stock.
Oh man, that's sad, because I would have wanted to grab those.
No, you don't. I mean, I have that. I have those, and I think they've fallen apart. I can't even see them on my shelf anymore. I think I gave up on them. I just kept Bloody Invincible guy in his case because I knew if I took him out, he'd fall apart too. I kept him in his blister pack, and he's up there awaiting Invincible Collection 12 so I can finish that series. But I hate the cheapness of those little figures. I mean, they're tiny little figures that absolutely are worthless. I hate them.
I had something I was just thinking of, and then I completely forgot it.
I'm full of hate, so let me think of some other things.
Full of hate. Well, what's the most recent comic that you've read that you've hated?
Ooh, that's a tough one because I've read nothing but good things recently.
I know. I was right when I said that. I was thinking about my own response. I'm like, ooh, I don't even know what I would say.
Yeah, a lot of my comic reading is based on referrals. So, you know, like your recommendations, and Furia, or rather Fangirl, has recommended things to me. Lots of people in the Omnibus group and even in the chat. I know Trigonosis is going to have apoplexy if I don't read Sidekick, so I got to read that. Heathen I'm supposed to read. Jimmy Owens got me into Copperhead, which was a great read.
Oh yeah, that's a good book.
Yeah, so now I'm in the middle of my Hickman summer readathon, and that's nothing but great stuff. So I really haven't hated any books in a long time.
I did think of something that I hate the opinion of, like, that Morrison is like pompous or something. Like that he's full of himself, because if you've ever seen anything where he talks about his writing and he talks about comics, you can tell that he is the complete opposite. He's the most humble person in the world. And I think that people get that idea because he has that such different way of presenting his ideas in his writing, and he's got those strange and oftentimes initially indecipherable ideas in his books. And he, you know, has so many strange titles, like, you know, that can take a little bit of research sometimes, or a second read to really get what's going on. Like, you know, The Invisibles, for instance, or in some cases Doom Patrol. But it's not in any way the creator being full of himself or being pompous or whatever, because all he ever says is, like, basically, I love comics, I love the medium, and I want everyone else to love comics too. And he's writing the comics that he thinks he would love and that he thinks others would love. So I hate that opinion, because it's I'm not going to be the guy and say, like, it's because you just don't understand it, which is fine. Like, if you don't get it, you don't get it, and that's fine. But don't take it out on the actual person, the creator, and his personality, because if you were to see him and see what he says and the way that he talks, you'd see that he's not at all this egotistical guy.
Okay, and Omnipool is reminding me that he recommended Coyotes to me, and he did, and it was excellent. I passed on Coyotes to Fangirl, and she reviewed it on the page. Jimmy Owens is saying this has turned into a therapy session for everyone in the chat. I will go back, although it was pretty far back. I don't even know if it may take too long. Benjamin Pineros says, you know what I hate, and I hate this too. I despise seeing comic book artists dying in poverty or having really rough times while books are every year more expensive and the movies rake up billions. Benjamin, I couldn't agree with you more. That is something that a couple of Wednesdays ago, maybe 3 Wednesdays ago, Luis and I talked about. That was my #1 disappointment in comics, was the treatment of its creators. That is something I hate. I hate the treatment of its creators. When there's oodles of money to be passed around to these guys, they are still not treated by the big two as anything less than disposable, and I hate that. That is a good point. Benjamin and I had a long chat the other day, and about music, and he's very knowledgeable about music. He's a journalist in Colombia. I don't say your last name super wrong, Nick Munoz. I put the tilde on there. Munoz. 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 I don't say Munoz. It's Munoz, right?
Munoz.
Munoz. Nicolas Munoz.
I know it was also mentioned a lot earlier in the chat about the post that was made by Chuck Dixon about Darwin Cook.
Oh, right.
And it was basically throwing what did he threw Brian Bendis under the bus, didn't he? To talk about how good Darwin Cook was, and that was pretty shitty as well.
Mm-hmm. He didn't need to do that.
No, he could have, because it not only like reflects badly on him, but basically his statement is implying quality of one creator is dependent on another creator's quality or lack thereof. And I think everyone knows that Darwin Cook stands on his own as a quality creator. He doesn't need to be compared against someone else. Whether you like or dislike Bendis, whatever your opinion on him is, it shouldn't. I don't know why the two names would even be put against each other.
Right. There was absolutely no. It was totally uncalled for. What else do we hate? I hate that. Let's see. I'm trying to think of a way to phrase my hate for Hawkeye Omnibus being $100.
I think you hate that Marvel took advantage of us knowing that we would spend $100 on that omnibus.
That should have been a $65 omnibus tops, and that thing went for $100. And I really should have just kept my oversized hardcovers, but I guess I hate myself for buying it. So I hate myself.
Now we've come full circle.
We've come full circle. I hate me.
That's what this has been about since the beginning. That's what Jess really wanted to get out. This is, man, Jess, you're getting 2 therapy sessions in one day.
I am. Please love me, everybody. Please.
You left your therapist earlier and you were like, I feel good about life. I feel good about myself. And now you're coming back to it and you're like, you know what? I hate myself. Next time you see her, she's going to be like, man, what happened? You're in such a different place. You're like, I just started thinking about that Hawkeye omnibus, man.
It was that Hawkeye. It put me in a dark place.
I really loved that series, so I unashamedly forked over the cash for that book after I had already bought the first oversized hardcover.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember those arguments, people like talking about the price and like it's going to be cheaper to just wait on the second one. And I was like, but I can have it all now. And I love this series. So because I already read it, like I had read it in singles and I thought it was one of the best things in a while. And I know there are also people that have a not so positive opinion on that series, and I definitely don't agree with them on that.
I hate that opinion because I love that series.
I think that book is fantastic.
I agree with that.
Do I agree? Yes, they probably should have priced it at, I say at the most would be a $75 book.
Mm-hmm.
Did they? No, they didn't. Why are you watching my video? My wife is watching my video like next to me.
I can hear it in the background.
Yeah, she's watching the video I filmed earlier. And she doesn't even like manga. She thinks that manga is lame and makes fun of me for reading it.
Wait,
So that's nice.
Omnipool, before you go, how do we watch Cloak and Dagger? What's it on? Is it on? It's on like the Summer Fun channel or something. Isn't it on something weird?
It's on Freeform, which apparently is ABC Family.
Oh, okay. I'd never heard of Freeform before.
I didn't know what it was, but then someone in the group said, "Hey, this is it's ABC Family. They renamed it, and then before it was ABC Family, it was Fox Family." So, I saw, because I have Marvel on my Instagram, and they keep posting about it because all the Instagrams do for the corporate sites are hype up everything because obviously that's their job. And it mentioned something about Freeform and on Hulu, so I'm hoping that means that it's going to Hulu soon.
I'll have to see if DirecTV carries Freeform.
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 You know what's not on Hulu right now that's been upsetting me is, oh hey, the first 2 episodes are on Hulu. Let's see it on my phone there. But what's not on there is, oh no, it said upcoming, never mind. But it will be on there. The second season of Legion is not on there yet. And the first season was loading, like episodes came on as they came out the next day or whatever. So I'm pretty upset that they didn't do the same thing for season 2.
Omnipool is confirming that DirecTV has Freeform.
Good. Good for you, not good for me. Doesn't matter for me.
No. It's strictly about me. This episode is about me hating me and my DirecTV. I don't hate DirecTV though. I love DirecTV.
I hate mosquitoes.
Yeah, we're having our backyards and front yard sprayed for them. I want to see if that works.
I sprayed for bugs last week because we also hate other bugs, and I'd say the spray got rid of almost everything except for these mosquitoes. They're pretty bad for me right now. I don't know how they are for you right now, but no, before it was like all those like June bugs and fireflies and weird beetles that would fly in, moths and shit. There's like roaches in my shed. I went into the shed after I sprayed and there was like 4 dead roaches on the ground. I was like, yes, I win. I hate roaches. I don't know why I hate roaches. I've never understood. I mean, they are gross, but why are they gross?
They're filthy.
But like, I don't hate other bugs as much as I hate roaches.
They carry filth and disease with them.
Do they?
Yeah.
I'm just uneducated in roachology.
Yeah. No, yeah, you definitely don't want roaches anywhere near your place. I have not yet finished. Lloyd Wong asked if I had finished Star Trek Discovery yet. I'm kind of stretching it out. I've only got 3.5 more episodes left. And I don't want it to end. I'm loving it so much. I know this is the hate episode, but I would hate for it to be over with. Is
the series canceled?
No, it's just the first season. I haven't finished it yet.
Oh, I was gonna say I hadn't heard anything. Not that I've watched any of it, but I hadn't heard anything about it having been canceled.
No, I just haven't finished it yet. I think it was a wild success. Well, actually, it's a wild success as far as I'm concerned as a viewer. I love it. I think it's wildly inventive and really cool. So I hope it gets renewed and we get 5 more seasons. That's fine with me. So no, I haven't finished yet. I hate that it's going to be over. Lloyd Wong is saying, no, it got renewed. Yay! Because I would hate for it to be canceled.
Is it like is it like the old Star Trek shows? Would you compare it to that?
It's its own thing, and they have They have, I think they have very interesting characters now that you're actually getting to know. There's enough excitement, but there's also enough plot-driven characterization where you get to really know the characters themselves, and it doesn't slow it down. It's not, because I thought that bogged down Deep Space Nine. There was too much character development, and you just got way too much into the character, and there wasn't enough action in that. This is a good balance of both action and getting to know the characters really well and caring about them.
I've never watched any of the different Star Trek series, so I can't really say anything, but I was just curious because I know you've watched Star Trek. But I'm going to go on one more thing that I hate, and then I have to cut it because I usually just get an hour.
I hate that.
I know, I hate that too, but my wife wants to continue watching Jane the Virgin, so I'm going to have to go inside and join her. But so the last thing, something that I particularly hate is when people seem to have negative opinions about stuff just to be contrary to the popular opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I think, there's this, and I know this way of thinking because when I was in high school, there was a couple things that I was like, this is bad because it's popular. I don't like it because I don't want to be in line with what everyone else thinks. There's a lot of that goes around. It's just being contrarian, like having to have the opposite opinion to go against, what everyone else says. And it gets really annoying. It gets really bothersome. And you can tell when someone has those kinds of opinions because usually they're like their own hatred of whatever this popular item is. They can't tell you much about why they don't like it. It's just this very shallow idea.
Yeah.
About the thing. I don't know, that's something that I've hated for a while. And I guess the more I'm around other people, whether that be in real life or on the internet, and I see more and more people will have those viewpoints, the more I hate it. Like the more I hate that kind of contrarian standpoint. And I know that I've talked about it with you, and I've talked about it with like Mitch and other admins in our chat. Like you'll see people post things, and it's obviously just trying to be against the grain. Like, this book is popular, I hate it. Like it's oftentimes disguised with like saying that something is overhyped. And it's led me to hate the term hype, like overhype, underhyped, hyped in general, hype train. Right. It makes me hate that term, like just talking about hype on something. I think it was Mr. Clark Nato, if he's still in the chat, in one of the posts the other day, he said about the underhyped, overhyped thing, that hype is basically a construct. Like there's no such thing as something being overhyped or underhyped because you make that hype for yourself. So it's all based on what you decide for the hype. Just paraphrasing it, basically. But it was kind of the idea that I had in my head already, and I was thinking about saying that, but I was like, I'm just not even going to comment because I'm not going to get all these notifications and whatever. And he said it, and I was like, perfect. That's exactly what I was going to say. Like, you create hype for things on your own, yes, by listening to other people, but you build something up in your own head to be something. And when you take in that book or that movie or that song or album or whatever the hell the thing is that you're taking in, and it doesn't live up to those expectations, that's partially your own fault as a viewer for giving yourself those expectations. And that's one of the reasons like I mentioned earlier today, that I like to go into things being cautiously optimistic. Mm-hmm. Not going in with the idea that I'm going to hate it, but also not going in with the idea that I'm going to love something. Because when I go in with the idea that I'm going to love something, I'm setting myself up to be let down. When I go in expecting that I'm going to hate something, I'm either going to hate it like I thought, or I might, in the off chance, get surprised and wind up liking it. But that rarely happens.
Well said. John McGarity, if you're still in the chat, once Riley signs off, I will answer your question. I have some suggestions if you're still in the chat. That's John McGarity.
My suggestion is to get ointment. I don't know what the question was, but
it's about comic books.
Oh, then get some ointment for that rash. Yeah, I will. I'm gonna go inside. I got some. I've been doing really well on catching up on some reading. So I'm gonna continue doing that, and also be watching TV. I've started to teach myself how to watch TV and read at the same time. So that's fun, I guess.
I haven't mastered that ever.
I really haven't mastered it. I just try to. I try to act like I'm doing it, and then my wife is like, "You're not even paying attention." Yes, I am. She's pregnant. But yeah, I wish I had more stuff to hate on. I probably do, and I'm sure, Jess, you've got a million other things. And
I'm out of hate, kind of. I'm all hated out.
Hated out. It's cathartic, though.
Yeah.
It's nice to just get those things out there and just let people know, like, I have this issue with you. Instead of making passive aggressive comments and stuff, which is another thing I hate, it's cathartic to get these things out there. Another thing that I don't hate, I made 2 videos this morning and it was awesome. I definitely don't hate the feeling of putting new content out there. And despite the fact that I make it seem like I do because I rarely make videos, I've figured out that I might be able to get a good pattern going. Every other Thursday, i.e. today, I'm off of work. On weekends, I really can't do anything because I'm dedicating that time to spending with my wife and my pups and going out and doing stuff. So I can't make videos then. But every other Thursday, I'm off work and I still wake up at the ass crack of dawn. So I was like, hey, let me get up and start organizing everything. I can make a video, like, you know, when my wife's getting ready for work. And I still have a whole day ahead of me, you know, to get it published and all that. So that's what I did. And I'm not going to promise anything, but that's what I'd like to do, is to every other Thursday be able to put something out there, just because I have that spare time. And honestly, when I wake up, because I'm so used to waking up at 5, I still wake up at 6 on my day off. I just sit there on the computer and catch up with, like, comments and stuff that, you know, stuff that's not that important. So I could sit there and use that time for good. So that's my goal, I guess.
That is awesome. We need more Ryleymo videos.
I mentioned in the videos today that so this was like my haul. If you want to check it out, check out my channel. I did 2 videos. There were 2 haul videos. The first one was for Western and American comics, and the second one was for manga, different manga that I got, and it was all my books that I obtained in May. So I want to do that every month, like at the beginning of each month, do one of those videos for what I got the previous month. Haul videos are the easiest type of videos to make. People, for whatever reason, really love them. And most of the books that I buy, I've read in one format or another beforehand anyway. So I feel like I'm able to give good feedback rather than just being like, check out this expensive thing I bought. I don't really know much about it, but it's expensive, so it's got to be good. Instead, I can tell you, like, I bought this because XYZ reasons. I've read it. It's good. I recommend it. I bought it because I thought it was good. You should buy it too. So I feel like that, you know, hopefully that me doing that in my videos is informative towards people, and it's also entertaining for people as well. Yeah,
I should do some haul videos too. People do love those.
I don't get to do them with you guys because I'm rarely on Mondays. So I figured I should do them myself.
That's a good point.
Because we used to do them, you know, back before we had the idea to split up the videos, we used to do everything on Thursday. And then we had, you know, I was like, hey guys, let's split it up and do one on another day for hauls and reads and stuff. Because we wind up spending most of the video talking about that stuff anyway. So it was my idea, but it kind of, I shot myself in the foot because then I was like never able to be on those videos. So kind of the catch-22 there. But if I do them myself, then that kind of alleviates that issue.
What is the name of your channel, since we're talking about it?
It is Ryleymo, or you can just search the Omnibus Collector and you'll find all my videos.
Right. Very nice.
And the first video I named Just an Old-Fashioned Book Haul.
Just an old-fashioned
exactly.
book haul.
Exactly. I was going to say like the Three Dog Night.
Very nice
song to be sung in the tune of Three Dog Night.
Right.
All right, well, I'm going to peace out. We're going to continue watching some TV, and I've got this Junji Ito book about cats to read.
Well, that looks like it's probably scary.
It's funny. It's basically the horror author Junji Ito writing kind of an autobiographical story about his pet cats.
Oh.
But he has his own horrific art style, even though it's just like everyday stuff like, hey, we got a second cat. And he's like, this cat is cursed. And stuff like that. So it's pretty funny. It's pretty funny. Anyway,
it comes with a free Frogurt. But the Frogurt is also cursed.
All right, man. I'm gonna check out. You have a good night.
All right,
Don't hate too much.
Being on. No more hate. Thanks for being on.
Love and peace, right?
Peace and love. Peace and love.
All right, man. Later.
Later. Okay, it's just me now. Let me just see. Oh, yeah, I hate that Omar lost his job too. Let's see. Clark Nato, pretty soon. No, Clark Nato, he did. You heard him say he put up 2 vids today. Yeah, Mr. McGarity, I recommend to you, welcome back. This is 2 books so far, with a 3rd one coming out. Excellent book that I've recommended a lot on this channel and on my own channel. Molly and Tessa have lived hundreds of lives, reincarnated throughout time. Friend and foe are caught in a war so endless that neither side recalls what they continue to fight for until now. Molly, an aimless 20-something girl living in Tempe in Kansas City, is flooded with memories of her former lives, memories that will fuel her for the battle ahead and finally give her life purpose. Tessa, on the other hand, is ever the diligent soldier out for blood and hot on young Mally's trail. Excellent book. Welcome back. I highly recommend it. It's put out by Boom Studios, not out of print or anything. Great art, great story. Welcome back. The next one is Frostbite by Josh Williamson. In the Arctic wilderness of post-apocalyptic America, death comes in many forms, but none is worse than the terrifying plague that freezes its victims from the inside out. They call it frostbite, and it is slowly, inexorably infecting the struggling remnants of humanity. Frostbite has no vaccine, no immunity, and no cure. Until now. And this is a great adventure book. Got 2 strong female protagonists in it. I really dig it. Josh Williamson hits on all cylinders. It's only 1 book, but it leaves room for a sequel. Next time I see Josh Williamson at a con, I'll ask him if there's going to be a sequel. But I highly recommend Frostbite. Wonderful book. Then the last book, everybody that pays attention to me on my own channel, and I've also hyped it. Sorry to use the word hype. On this channel, and that's Joyride. Joyride is such a great book. It's 3 books. I think the first one is now lightly out of print, so you may have to get it on Comixology or somehow. But this is about a crew on a sentient ship that escapes an Earth that has force fielded itself off of the rest of the world, including half of the moon. So it's impossible to escape, but the crew manages to get on the side of the moon and escape. She's got a motley crew with her. The girl's name, I forget, Uma, right? She's got a friend named Dude. The crew of Joyride, this is the second one, I think. Yeah, the crew of Joyride survived their first foray to the stars and met the challenges the galaxy threw at them head on. So it's only fair they enjoy a bit of relaxation and carefree living. But as they come to learn in space, nothing is as it seems. In fact, it's the secrets hidden in their own ship and among their fellow travelers that will send the crew down a path that brings them face to face with a very alien threat that the leaders of Earth ran from so long ago. I think it's 3 books, 3 great books, three and done. The first one's lightly out of print. I love this book. Love this book. So, Mr. McGarity, check those 3 out. I tried to find Joyride, but yeah, it's spotty in stock. You may need to you may need to do some searching to find Joyride. I may get the Omnipups on that one to see if we can grab a few copies for the group, because everybody needs to be reading Joyride. Tyler Trent says eBay has cheap copies, John McGarity, so try eBay. If you can get Joyride #1, then 2 and 3 are on InStockTrades.com, our sponsor. Excuse me. So thank you, Tyler Trent, for saying that eBay has cheap copies of Joyride #1. Definitely check that book out. Tyler Lindvall, I'm sorry. You missed all the hate. Now we are talking about books I love. Yeah, the hate got all hated out. You can review the video and you can see what we hated. We hated people, places, and things. We hated nouns. Yeah. But now I love all you people in the chat. It was a great chat. Jess, are you excited for the Livewire solo series by Vita Ayala? Sure. I'm not as caught up on Valiant as I should be to be that informed on Livewire, but if you're excited, then I'm excited because I get like all my referrals from other people. I will check out your hate on my own time. Okay, Tyler Lindvall. Oh, Jimmy Owens, that is a nice thing for you to do. That is very nice. He's going to appreciate the heck out of it. That is a super nice thing for you to do. Eternal Empire, must read. Okay, Heathen and Eternal Empire and Sidekick. I will write that down. I'd write it down with this, but he's out of ink. And I don't have a piece of paper either. So, any other questions, or are you sick of me? I see the viewership is down tremendously since Riley left, so I'm going to take that personally and say it's probably time for me to sign off, unless I get a really good question like right now. Yes, that is Sunfire. He's missing his fire. He has fire like right here. Whoop! He had it. That's why it comes off. He has trouble gripping his fire. Gabe Infinity Watch. I hate that OmniDog's vault got his Providence slipcase before he did. I'm the one who told him about it first. Yeah, I know. Sorry, Gabe. And it's upstairs. I need to bring it down here for a haul video. I got it a few days ago. Thank you, Travis Gilmer. Tommy Bahama. I should probably button up my top button. You don't need to see all my chest hairs. I do have the Divinity trilogy. You need to read that. I read it independent of everything Valiant. Right. I need to read that. I definitely do. Let's see. Jimmy Owens. Yes. Omnibroslive. Do you recommend reading Silver Age Avengers? Ugh. I like Silver Age stuff, but it's pretty ponderous. Any Silver Age stuff is going to be wordy and full of exposition, and You know what you should do? Download a couple copies off of Comixology and read 1 and 2 and see what you think before you go spending money on a book or buying it all on Comixology or a trade. Silver Age is definitely an acquired taste for the modern reader. I grew up with it, so I dig it, but I totally get its limitations. So go in with your eyes wide open. It may or may not be your cup of tea. Yay, make havoc. Thanks, buddy. You're the best. Oh, you think shirt hairs are a plus? Okay, dude. Whatever lights up your board. I'm cool with it. Unbutton it slowly. Yeah, issue 1 is going to be wordy. They're all going to be wordy. Yeah, art is great. Yeah, the art is great. No question about it. I love Silver Age art. I love Silver Age Kirby art. I love... let's see, where is volume? Where is what? My volume 1 is out of order. Where is my volume 1? Huh. Okay. Where to start on Avengers? Modern Avengers, I would say, is probably the best. Gabe probably has an opinion since Gabe isn't working, even though he's at work. He's watching the show. Let's see. Okay, Avengers. Hickman's Avengers is, I haven't read it. It's supposed to be awesome, though. New Avengers and Avengers, so you might want to try that. That's my best recommendation. Clarknado saying Hickman or Bendis. The New Avengers, I liked Bendis's New Avengers. I read that. That was good. I enjoyed that a lot. So that's a good recommendation. Sending some love your way, just to counter all the hate. Thanks, dude. Thank you, Cuban Groove. Jimmy Owens, I'm reading New Avengers. Okay, good. Yeah, New Avengers by Bendis is a good starting place. I totally agree with the chat on that. Avengers Disassembled, right, Iron Cardinal goes right into New Avengers. It's kind of funky how they get assembled and disassembled. I think it's kind of a weird way to do it. But once you get past that, the adventures are exciting. You do not need to read House of M for New Avengers. Wanda does her own thing in New Avengers. I won't say anything to spoil it, but Wanda does her own thing in New Avengers. Lloyd Wong, I'm going to pretend I didn't see that. Travis Gilmer, Jess, what do you think about Hick Avengers going out of stock, out of print so quickly? I think it's been a year. I've been surprised that that book has been around so long and that people didn't jump on it when it first came out. As soon as something comes out, I want to get it because I get worried about things going out of print in omnibus format. Now, obviously you can get Avengers by Hickman in other formats, from digital to trade paperbacks to the OHCs. So it's not impossible to get the material. And I got to tell you, that Avengers book is a hefty book by Jonathan Hickman. I went to Second and Charles yesterday to pick up a copy for Kemi Jacob. They only had one, and Kemi needed it. And man, it was a heavy book to hump out to my car. And I think the Caps might have just scored a goal. I just heard my wife through the ceiling. So I don't know who you're rooting for, but my wife is rooting for the Caps. Let's see. So I'm surprised that Hick Avengers went out of print at all, because I think it had a pretty big print run. Gabe can probably correct me on that, but I think it had a pretty good print run. So I'm surprised that all of a sudden people are flipping out about it when they've had a year to get it. I I don't hate that, but I have to say that I'm surprised they've had a long time to be able to get it, and now all of a sudden that it's going out of print, they want it. That's fear of missing out, and I get that. I'm not shaming anybody for that. I get it. I have that too. But if a book comes out in omnibus format, or even trades can go out of print too easily. If you want it, the earlier you get it, the better. If you can afford it, because these things have a way of going out of print when you least want them to. Oh, Gabe is saying Hickman's Avengers has been out since August and it's already out of print. Wow, that is crazy. That is very crazy. David Riley thought Breakout was the lead to New Adventures. Gee, I read Avengers Disassembled and then went into New Avengers by Bendis. I did not. I know not what you speak of with Breakout. I'm not familiar with Avengers Breakout. Actually, everything I know about Avengers is probably New Avengers. That's probably all I know. And then once I read Hickman's Avengers, I'll know that. I'm the first to say that my Marvel knowledge is limited compared to my DC knowledge. All right. Take it easy. Stan Hooper, Rick Remender has good runs on both Secret Avengers and Uncanny Avengers. That is true. I need to pick up Secret Avengers by Remender because I've heard so much good stuff about it. So I need to definitely pick that up. And of course, I have Uncanny Avengers, and I haven't read it. So take a shot if you're playing that game. We need to have that game. Oh, Jess, have you read The Dregs? It's a homeless detective story with some really neat panels. No, Tyler Trent, I have not. I'm not familiar with The Dregs. I'll have to check that out. Sunfire still doesn't have any ink in him, so I don't have that to write down. But I will refer back to this because I need to read Heathen, Sidekick, Eternal Empire, and now The Dregs. I did a pretty good job remembering that, considering I'm old and tired. Hickman Avengers Fever is going to spike with Volume 2 releases. Gabe, I think you're totally right on that. Spy Seal. No, I didn't get that. I got. Oh wait, did I get Spy Seal? No, I got Super Spy. Spy Seal. Now that's 5 comics I have to get. I will get them though. Maybe next week is a slow week, and I can get them because this week was a big week, and I didn't even get. The only omnibus I got was like the Miles Morales omnibus. Breakout was a series of a massive breakout at Rikers Island that brought the members of the New Avengers together before they formed the team. Ah, okay, good. Understood. I haven't read that. I just read Disassembled and then read New Avengers. Isn't that how New Avengers starts, David Riley? Issue 1. Yeah, that does sound familiar. Iron Cardinal, yeah, I did hold off on getting Runaways Omnibus because I have the 3 oversized hardcovers, and I wanted to just keep those. I'm a fan. If I have it in oversized hardcover, I don't have to have it in Omnibus. I'm not the Omnibus collector. I'm more of the oversized hardcover collector. If I already have it in OHC, then I'm cool with just having it that way. How are you with hot food? You guys should do a hot one style episode. You mean spicy food? I bet Riley and Omar and Gabe could probably all kick my butt just because they're young. Next week is Ms. Marvel Volume 4. Good. Yeah, I want that. Infinite Crisis Omni. Already have that. Absolute Sandman Overture. Don't think I'm going to get that. Quantum and Woody Deluxe Volume 2. I like Quantum. I like Quantum and Woody, so I might get that. Okay, so we're having a discussion in the chat about Breakout being part of New Avengers anyway. So that knowledge has been pushed out of my brain by new knowledge of what I read this week. And what I'm reading is Agents of Atlas, the complete collection, Volume 1, which is a heck of a fun book. I'm looking forward to doing a review on that. My day, Jimmy Owens. Yeah, my day is always good when I'm live on YouTube. I always have fun doing this, so it finishes my day off really nice. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And I don't have. I'm all out of hate, so I'm kind of exhausted from the hate. Really, I'm happy to get back to the positive feelings that I generally have about comics, but it had to be said. That is not true. Gabe, you are a menace to society. You are. I'm going to time you out. If I could time you out, I would, but I don't think I can. Ugh, I can't. You're a damn mod in the chat, man. I should time you out for that. You need somebody watching over you. Shouldn't you be at work, Gabe? Shouldn't you be helping customers? Lloyd Wong, I did get. Let's see, where is that book? Detective. I did get Detective 2, but I haven't read it yet. It just came in. I may have just ordered it. Don't change the password. I love Detective. It's James Tynion the Fourth's X-Men, he said. I talked to him at AwesomeCon, and he said it's his version of the X-Men, and I love it. I think it's a great series. It's really a Batwoman book more than anything. Batwoman's really in charge. It's a better Batwoman book than Batwoman the series, the Rebirth series. So I highly recommend Detective Comics and, of course, Batman by Tom King. I love the team in Detective too, Jimmy Owens. Detective is the only Rebirth title I've really been interested. Really, Yavash. There's so much stuff that's really good. Something's going on in the hockey game. I can hear my wife through the ceiling. And this is supposed to be a soundproof ceiling. So you can imagine the level of shrieking that's going on. M. Gibson, this is probably a good question for the chat because I don't know the answer. What's the difference between the Ultimate Spider-Man Omnibus just released. Oh, you mean the Miles Morales Spider-Man book and the one released several years ago? The Miles Morales Omnibus that was just released is different than the Ultimate Spider-Man by Bendis, I believe. I haven't read the Miles Morales stuff yet that I just ordered the omnibus of. I'm really excited to read it, but I think it's completely different than the other Spider-Man, Ultimate Spider-Man book. So it's a completely different storyline. And E. Tyler Inval is, Las Vegas tied it up, then Caps took the lead back immediately. Oh, okay. Actually, I appreciate that update. And E. Tyler saying, yeah, they're different Spider-Men. Yeah, it is different material, M. Gibson. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you won't be double dipping. Clayface is such a great addition, so much pathos. Yes, good word. Clayface is a great addition to the detective team in Detective Comics. I'm kind of scared to go upstairs because my wife is an insane Caps fan, and I'm more of a football and baseball fan. I'm happy for her, but if I go up there, it's just going to be shrieking and pouting or whatever. So ask me some more questions so I don't have to go upstairs. I want to stay down here where it's safe. Or I may just go to bed. That's another option. I can sleep through her shrieking. I just can't sit next to it. Oh, you guys are going to make me in the chat, aren't you? There's no questions. I know it's only the middle of the second period. Lloyd Wong. She goes crazy the minute the puck's dropped. Just what are your thoughts on Batman's wedding? I do have thoughts on Batman's wedding. I want, this is going to sound like heresy, I want Batman and Selina to be happy for a while. Let him be happy. That's a new take on Batman. A happy Batman, what's that going to be like? Or even just moderately less grumpy Batman. I mean, he and Selina really get married. What's he going to be like on a honeymoon? What's she going to be like on a honeymoon? What is married life going to mean? I think it's a fascinating idea to actually have Batman married. Superman married, that makes sense. Batman, he's a nut job, so what's that going to mean to have Batman married? I think it's a fascinating topic. I don't want him to break up in 6 months. Let it go on for a year. Let's see where it goes. Let's see what happens. Let's see how she handles Damian. Let's see how things go. Now, I'm not caught up on Batman at all. It's going to be a while before I get to the wedding issue because I'm a trade waiter. But I think it's a great idea. Any of the Vertigo books you are specifically excited to give a try? The Mark Russell book sounded interesting to me. Lloyd Wong, I am reading, but I trade read, so I don't. It takes me 6 months. What you guys are reading today in singles doesn't come out in hardcover for like a year, and so I always have to wait. So I know I'm behind the times, but I hope they're happy. Have you got any new statues, Jess, from Carlos? The one new statue I have, I think I've showed it off before, but I'll show it off again, is the Harley Quinn statue. Oops, let me unplug. The Harley Quinn statue. Well, there's Jane Thor. Hang on a sec. That Harley Quinn statue right there with her riding her jetpack. I'm hearing more screams coming from upstairs. I can't imagine what's happening. There's Jane Foster Thor, and there's Harley, because she would fit there. That's the latest statue that I have. I've got another one coming in, a bombshell, the Green Lantern bombshell. I've got that one coming in. Whoop. Why does your wife hate me in Las Vegas? If my wife knew about you, she'd love you, Gabe, and I love Las Vegas. I got nothing against the Vegas Knights. I have no dog in this fight. I'm not a hockey fan. I'm a baseball and football fan. Hockey, I don't know jack about. She's the nutty one. So something's going on upstairs. I can still hear it. I think every time they rush down the ice, she screams. So oh, it's 2-2 now. So she was shrieking in disappointment. Nick Backus, do you know how long it takes for Marvel to release a whole series in complete collections? I see Hickman Fantastic Four is coming in August, but only Volume 1 is solicited at the moment. I feel like my perception is they come out in like 6-month increments is my guess. That's what I feel like they come out. So that's my best answer to that. Yes, Power Girl is stacked. How long, John McGarity, how long have you been collecting trades hardcovers? I've been into them since the late 1990s, but somewhat sporadically, so I have a lot of older books, not so much last 5 years books. I've been collecting trades since probably, I went cold turkey in 2013 on floppies. That's when I went cold turkey. I said, no more floppies. It's cheaper to buy trades. It's cheaper to buy trades at instocktrades.com. And it is a more complete experience to read things in trades for me. I totally get people who want to read floppies. That's a fun way to read them. But I like reading them in trades. So since about 2012, 2013, right around there is when I started. Iron Cardinal, are there 2 complete collections of Dan Slott's She-Hulk? The answer is yes. They are, and they're great. He writes a great She-Hulk. That's right. November is when I'm coming to Vegas, Gabe. I've been having many thoughts on that. None of them clean. Most of them involving in and out and strip clubs. Let's see. My brother still has Death of Superman in the plastic baggie. Worth anything? You know what? I don't know. You'd have to go to eBay to find that out. I kind of doubt it because I think there was about 1 billion copies pressed. So I kind of have the feeling that that's like X-Men 1, where there was 1 million copies pressed and probably not worth that much. So I'm just getting that. I would go to eBay and find that out. Stan Hooper, Jess, do you like Damien? Maybe I'm old-fashioned, but I think Robin should be a good kid and not a brat. Yeah, where I started liking Damien was in Super Sons. I hate to say it, but I like him in Super Sons. I think that Jonathan brings out the best in him. I totally agree. He's easy to hate. He's an arrogant little jerk, but in Super Sons, he's actually pretty likable. And I urge you to read that because it's good. I really enjoy it. Let's see. I only buy nice covers and indie creators I want to personally support. That's a good way to do it. Isn't Adam Hughes going to be there? Yeah, that's the reason I'm going to Vegas. for the Adam Hughes signing. That's one of the reasons I'm going to Vegas. Lloyd Wong, would you ever pass a rare book, hardcover omnibus, to a friend if you wanted to get them into it or show them how good something was, knowing you might never get it again? No, I would not. No, those books are not leaving my house. I'll buy them the trades of it and give that to them, but I'm not loaning him a rare book. Forget that. No, I might be a nice guy, but I'm not that nice a guy. No way. No way would I do that. Good question, though. But I wouldn't do it. Ooh, Roboters 100 saw Penn and Teller in Vegas. That's cool. And Roboters lost his Inferno trade doing that. Oof. That's a heartbreaker. And Jimmy Owens doesn't even trust his dad with his trades. Yeah. M. Gibson, how do you decide who to interview on my YouTube channel? That's a good question. I try to get people that don't, well, no, I get people that don't have their own YouTube outlet, that they don't have any other outlet. So I wouldn't necessarily, although I have had Omar on, Omar and I did, but that, I think that was an OmniBros episode we did together. Yeah, no, he wasn't on my channel. I try to get people that aren't represented and I think will be interesting and have interesting opinions. I just had Frank Gogol, creator of a fabulous book, Grief, on the other day, and I had Fangirl on. Neither one of them have YouTube channels that I know about, and I thought that I'd like to get the underrepresented on for different opinions. If somebody already has a YouTube channel, you already know their opinion on stuff. So that's how I get the people that I want to interview. I want to get people that don't have an outlet, really. Jimmy Owens, I hope you get that one interview we talked about, Jess. Yes, I need to contact that person. I need to contact that person. I haven't done it yet. I think Fangirl and I want to do that interview together. Good, Tyler Trent. Do that. I hit her up on Twitter and tell her that OmniDog wants to interview her, so she'll know when I email her who I am. She'd be a great interview. I would love to interview Leila Del Duca. That would be great, and Fangirl would be great on that to interview her too. Will I ever do a show with my advisor, my comic book advisor? That's a good question. He might be good. It'd be a good experience for him because he sells comic books as well as advises, so it may be free advertising for him. That's actually a pretty good idea there, Chris M. Yeah, that is a good idea. I actually like that idea. I got my hands full. I don't know that I can get on Twitter. I tried Twitter a few years ago, and then I got my hands full being an admin on this Omnibus Collector page on Facebook, and it seems to take up all my time. So I can't even keep up with my stupid Instagram account. All those hashtags and everything. Man, I'm sick of it. So, Jimmy Owens. Yeah. So yeah, I doubt I'll be doing Twitter. All my thoughts are poured into the Omnibus Collector page on Facebook. Yeah, Tyler Trent, you're probably right. Twitter is the best place to network with comic creators to get on the show. I'm gonna try and do that in person in Baltimore. I'm gonna be going to Baltimore. Maybe she'll be there, but I need to get some business cards printed up so I can make an impression on them. So yeah, like that. Yeah, somebody get me on Twitter and handle my Twitter account for me. That'd be a great thing to do. Carlos, I am definitely going to be talking to Mark Waid about more irredeemable 4 and 5. I'm going to definitely talk to him about it. Scott Snyder is a creator who's always willing to do people's shows, so reach out to him since he started a YouTube channel. Oh, I'll have to watch that. Bless that guy. I love that guy. So, such a great guy to talk to at a convention. I mean, it takes an hour and a half to get to him, but that's because he's taken 5 or 10 minutes with every person to chat with him personally. He's such a good guy. Incorruptible is good. It is very good. Jimmy, it's very good. I love it. It's not irredeemable, but it's still really good. As a matter of fact, I should go back and reread that. Where is that? Right over there. I should reread that. I'll, in between my Hickmanathon books, I will reread Incorruptible. And it's sounding quiet upstairs, so maybe it's intermission or halftime or whatever they call it in hockey. I don't know. End of the second period. So I'm actually exhausted. I appreciate everybody watching. I love all your comments. I love all your questions. Thank you so much for hanging in there for the extra hour that we've been on without Riley. You guys are all great. I totally appreciate your support. I appreciate all you guys watching. InStockTrades.com, where you can get up to 50% off on your collected editions, 2 to 3% loyalty discounts. Up to $50 and over gets you free shipping in the United States. You get an Omnibros discount every quarter that gets you even more off. Fabulous packaging. And Emily, customer service. Watch our interview with her on Monday. Wonderful person. Wonderful mom. We all know her mom now. And we know Emily. Great customer service at InStockTrades.com. So yes, I am exhausted and I hear screams from above. I don't know what's going on upstairs. I'm headed into madness. But everybody, I love you. Thank you so much for watching. Peace and love. Peace and love.